Hello, everybody. I'm Arya Sajedi, the MCVP IGIP for
How you
ISIC
do
United
pricing
States.
is you
You need to really look at the value your product has. So don't look at internally of like how much it costs and stuff like this. Look externally. How much is this going to save a company if they take a product? It's going to save them something. They don't do this out of charity. They do this because it supports their business by saving them money. So what would that be, for example? Well, if you look at programming in the United States, a typical entry-level programmer makes about $60,000 per year. Um, Most of our companies pay our interns about $25,000 to $35,000 per year. So as you can see, almost immediately a company will notice that they could save about $30,000 per programmer by using our program instead of getting domestic talent, because there's a shortage of domestic talent here. That's the value to the company. The value of our product is for programmers is $30,000 a year. So really, what that means is you can charge them $5,000, which is 1/6 of what of the value saved, because they're going to look at it and say, yeah, that's fine. Of course, I'm going to give you a certain percentage of what I save, as long as I still save a large majority of it. They're perfectly fine with that. So I would generally say if you can put a value to how much your product saves the company, you can charge about 15 to 25% of that savings. And that's the custom. That's what companies are used to seeing. Another way to price your product is to look at similar services and competitors and see how much they charge. Just remember one thing, you don't want to be the cheapest. I think we typically undervalue ourselves in ISIC, and we shouldn't compare ourselves to the cheapest guys, because these guys deal in volume, and we don't. We don't have the same scale a lot of corporations will have. So you don't want to be the cheapest, because then people will be treating you like that. I would generally say if you find the cheapest, charge about 20% more than them. And the last thing I just want to leave you with is really to ensure not to underprice your product. You might look at what I just said and say, hey, if I charge $5,000 for a TN, that's way too much money. We don't need that much money. The cost us is $600. All that extra revenue, we're just you might be a nonprofit, like in the U.S., or maybe you're a for-profit, but nonetheless, since you're for students, you don't need to create a large revenue. That doesn't matter. The important thing is if you underprice your product, people get suspicious. They wonder, why is it so cheap? It's almost like it's a deal that's too good to be true. And it'll actually make it harder to sell your product. So pricing it correctly is really important. Obviously, if you price it too high, no one's going to take it. But if you price it too low, no one's going to trust you, at the same time not take it either. And I think we often do that. So make sure, look at the value you create and price accordingly. Don't undercut your price. So that's some tips. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I love talking about this stuff at any time. Otherwise, thanks for watching.